I'm the rap game financial advisor. Dropping beats that'll make you go higher. I got an 808 with metal undertones. Gonna school you about crypto, make you take loans. Stacking stacks, yeah, that's the goal. Invest in the crypto, watch it all unfold. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and more. I'm diversifying portfolios like never before. Cryptocurrency got the game in a frenzy. Financial literacy, that's the key to play. I'm spitting knowledge, making moves that count. Turning stacks into millions, no doubt.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Arrow, and we are back at it again with another episode of Crypto Portfolio Updates. This one's going to be a good one. We're going to have some important conversations. We're going to talk about some important things that we're thinking about, what we're looking at doing in the crypto space. We're going to do updates on the portfolio. Obviously, we are in a space of getting our butts kicked hardcore, but we're going to talk about it. First and foremost, we want to give a shout out to the sponsor of the show on the platform, Delta Investment Tracker app. Yes, small channel, micro influencer, if you would. We're doing what we can, but the guys over at Delta, family over there, liked what we were doing, liked what we were talking about, liked that we're keeping it authentic, being honest, giving not so hypey critiques on the market, and just documenting the journey. They saw some respect and some light in that, and wanted to add to the momentum a little bit. So got to give them mad respect. We're using it for tracking both our traditional and crypto portfolios. You can manually add it, or you can have it track your wallet address. Either or. And you can link it to your brokerage account, which is super convenient for me. But moving on, we're going to go ahead and jump into it, get into the stuff that we like. Going to make myself small on the screen here. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the second one. So first and foremost, we got to start off with the beginning of the show. Shout outs to CoinGecko. Also want to give a shout out to the Untouchables family. I'm going to be sharing it over there a little bit ahead of post date. They get a little bit of one of the advantages for being in one of the Untouchables. Now, if you're not an Untouchable, you need to tap in with Team Fatty and, maybe join the Discord, maybe go ahead and subscribe to the channel over there. He's got a lot of really interesting conversations. And, maybe tap into that Discord so that you can get a hold of this earlier than everyone else. With that said, we're going to jump into it. Shout outs to CoinGecko. That's where we pull all of our metadata market information. Market cap is currently sitting at 2.169 trillion. Whoa. Having been here for over a decade, I literally never thought we would see 2.169 trillion. That's awesome. Yeah, we got a $2.1 trillion market cap for the cryptocurrency space. Bitcoin dominance is still strong at 54.8%. Still a great time to get your alt buys in. We're going to be talking about that here in a little bit. Ethereum dominance is at 13%. Ethereum gas fees, of course, obviously, the day that I'm thinking about making a buy on Ethereum chain, the gas fees are at 4.411 Gwei instead of sub 1 Gwei. We'll see what that translates to on the trade side of things. But I've got a feeling it's gonna kick the prices up to prices where I'll probably just sit on the cash or move it to another chain and make a alternate play. See, you always got to have redundancy when you're dealing with stuff on the Ethereum blockchain, because the gas fees, they're ridiculous. And they were really low for quite a few weeks. It was sub 1, which now, and honestly, single digits are inexpensive, but like when the gas fees are like a couple of bucks, that's different. That hits different. And now I'm spoiled. So I'm always looking at the gas fees. I always check them before I even go think about making a transaction, because if the transaction fee is going to be too high, it runs into your profit for your trades on Ethereum. So I don't use it when the gas fees are high. So I'm going to have to go see what 4 Gwei translates to, because I know I was feeling greedy. I was making moves. I felt like a king when the gas fees were under 2. And so like now that it's above 2, I'm like, is this going to be a couple of bucks or is it going to be a $5 transaction? Because I don't know if I want to spend $5 now. But we'll see. We'll see. I got a little bit of money to throw around. Next part, we're going to talk about the top 3 trending coins per coin gecko. This is the top 3 coins that people are looking up, doing research on. At number 1, we have Toncoin. At number 2, we have Ensure DeFi. At number 3, we have AI Companions. Now, moving on to the next segment, we're going to do the top 5 gainers and losers in the crypto market space. Actually, let me give a little plus on this, make it a little bigger. Okay, we're not going to make it a little bigger. That's not a good look. We're going to start off with the gainers. You know, it's a little bit of agitation in the altcoin space. Not much with Bitcoin dominance over 50%. Everything's going to be moving sideways and at the behest of Bitcoin. So there's a little bit of movement, some moves in here, you know, within the last 24 hours. There's some good numbers on here. The losses, there's some numbers on there. Not looking too bad. Very sideways. Like, yeah, we'll see. At number 1, at rank 203, we have Neiro, Neiro, with a gain of 81.4% in the last 24 hours. At number 2, at rank 371, we have UXLink, UXLINK, with a gain of 57.2%. At number 3, we have at rank 277, Big Time, BIGTIME, with a gain of 38.3% in the last 24 hours. At number 4, we've got BoboCoin, BOBO, with a gain of 37.6% in the last 24 hours. And last but not least, at number 5, we have AI Companions, AIC, at rank 530 with a gain of 33.8% in the last 24 hours. Now, moving over to the losers, I definitely hope none of you are on the losers list. But if you are, this might be a good time to load up, because we are moving very sideways with the Bitcoin dominance sitting at 54%. Kicking it off at rank 345, we have Kittycoin, KOIN, with a loss of 29.2% in the last 24 hours. At number 2, at rank 448, we have Tron Bull, BULL, with a loss of 17.8% in the last 24 hours. At number 3, at rank 510, we have Ardor, ARDR, with a loss of 13.5% over the last 24 hours. At number 4, we have at rank 950, OXCoin, OX, with a loss of 12.1% in the last 24 hours. Last but not least, at rank 501, we have Frog, FWOG, with a loss of 11.3% in the last 24 hours. Now we're moving to what you're all here for, what you're here to see. Currently, hold on. Let me make sure that we're right. Okay, so currently, we are down a whole 15% with the portfolio for this year. These windows, man, we were killing it. Then we had punch after punch after punch, and then we ran into Bloody Monday. We still haven't recovered from that. in any market, my portfolio hasn't recovered from that yet. My traditional finance portfolio that I'm trying to get up and running, oh boy, thank God the income's coming in on that bad boy, because the numbers on the underlying assets are also abysmal. But we're down 15%, which is actually down lower than the income portfolio. Fortunately, the income portfolio is just there to produce income, and it is producing income. So it's doing its job. Up 2.6% on the day, which really doesn't matter if you're down 15%. Like, we are in the dumps. We got to hold those L's. We gotta hold them near and dear to our hearts. And we got to understand that when the market is down and your portfolio is down, that is the time that you accumulate rampantly. For those of you who are new here, I know I got some people from Team Fatty that are going to be looking out over here, hopefully. And also, I got another Discord that I'm in. I'm going to drop this in early as well. Oh, I want to give them a shout out. So new Discord family. I'm kind of looking and peeping in there. Not sure what's going on. Kind of browsing, just kind of letting the information roll in, checking out the charts, looking at what the guys are doing. The Funding Fathers, that's another Discord that I'm in. Going to go ahead and give them a shout out and drop this over there early for them as well. For those who haven't been here, we do not. I'm giving you my top 10, but the two holdings that we're not looking at are the USDC, because those are in liquidity pooling positions. And honestly, I'm going to have to do a audit, because there's no way in heck that this is at number one anymore, because we killed some farms, consolidating down. So, because the yield farming ain't what it used to be. I mean, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, we was banging it out. There's just too many options in the traditional finance space that pay better, that are more consistent, more stable. I don't have to worry about them like disappearing at any point in time. Management of them is pretty straightforward. It's super easy. There's a order of magnitude less risk involved, as opposed to doing income generating activities in the DeFi space. So we have switched our focus. So what do we do with this portfolio? We condensed it down. Now we have some DeFi income producing opportunities, but they're very focused, and they're very focused on things that we're looking at for the bull run. So the USDC, and the second one is the Lido staked Ether. We are currently on a journey to accumulate 32 Ether. Not 100% sure if it's going to happen this bull run, but we shall see. We shall see. Because Ethereum is a long-term hold for me. After I accumulated the first Bitcoin, we have also instituted a Bitcoin standard within my personal finance and household. So I'm constantly and indefinitely buying Bitcoin, but my altcoin plays are all based on getting a push towards having my 32 Ether, because I want it and I need it and I got to have it. So that's another long-term hold. The reason we're using Lido staked Ether is because that way you get a residual, because the coins, you get additional Ethereum for staking and securing the network. We use Lido staked Ether at 32. We might do our own node. I don't know. It depends. Maybe, probably not. It's just really easy to throw it in Lido staked Ether and just get that coin and just watch it grow little by little over time, because these are going in the long-term hold. They go in cold storage. I never touch them again. And eventually, hopefully at some point way later down the road, we can start picking at those positions after they have grown exponentially, and we are rich. That's the goal. So those two positions we are not counting. The reason being is this will give you a look into what I'm actively dealing with and monitoring and accumulating in this portfolio for this year. Again, this is this year's portfolio. This is less than 10% of my entire holdings that we're working with over here. And this is just gaming the system. Now, obviously, we are constantly buying Bitcoin. This is kind of us riding the bull run to acquire more Ethereum, because at the end of the year, this is going to get, by and large, consolidated down into an Ethereum only position, and we will start reaccumulating during whatever the bear market looks like, because I'm expecting some retracements. But everything's subject to being consolidated down into Ethereum, with the exception of Ethereum. Okay, so let's jump into it. At number 1, obviously, we have Solana, SOL. At number 2, we have Injective, INJ. At number 3, we have Ethereum, just regular unstaked Ethereum. At number 4, we have Camelot token, Grail, GRAIL. At number 5, we have Superverse, SUPER. At number 6, we have Thorwallet DEX, TGT. At number 7, we have Celestia, TIA, TIA. At number 8, we have Wrapped Bitcoin, WBTC. At number 9, we have Jupiter Perpetuals Liquidity Provider Token, JLP. And at number 10, pulling up the rear, we have Radium, RAY. Now, moves that we've been making. We have money in the hopper. We're getting ready to deploy it today. It was a little bit of a lagging week. We were busy. We had things going on. Life happens. And I just hadn't decided what I was looking at. Now, what am I looking at? Well, the decision that I'd made prior to looking at the gas fees on Ethereum was to grab some more Immutable X. Reason being, I want these altcoin positions that I'm just holding. I want $1,000 position in all of these, in all of my alt just holding positions. Immutable X is a gaming play. It's GameFi. I'm really interested in it. Another one that I'm really interested in is Superverse, but we had a jump on Superverse, so like we're back in the green on Superverse. So there's no, also it's over $1,000 now. So we're looking at that. I was also looking at my Celestia position. If that position's below $1,000, I'll need to add a little bit back into the hopper on that one. Always, when I can't find anything else to do, I shoot it over to Solana, the Jupiter Perpetuals Liquidity Provider Token. Definitely want to get position on that. It's a really good exchange play on Solana. And I also have a position, a way to kind of gamify that to get a little bit of extra bonus going. So we've got that going as well. Akash Network is another one. I want to get, if that's not over 1,000, we're definitely looking at that. That's a gaming AI play. Definitely like Akash as well, especially with these deep discounts, because everything in my portfolio is basically brutalized, with the exception of Super Camelot token I'm up on. Thorwallet DEX I'm still heavily up on. Injective I'm over $1,000, so like I'm just living that out. That's a position that's hopefully going to be generating some semblance of something for itself. And then Akash I'm down. Synapse I'm up on. But yeah, basically everything's in the dumps except for Solana. I am up on Solana. I got a good buy-in on Solana. We're still adding to different derivative positions of that, but like that are Solana focused for the bull run, because that's going to be my main play for this run. My main push is Solana needs to go to $400. Like I have no doubts that it will, but I'm up now. I get to start cashing out of some of these positions at $400. So like the sooner Solana gets to $400, the sooner we can start cycling those plays into other plays, also tucking some away for the Lido staked Ether. Because this bull run, unlike the previous bull runs, I'm not going to keep rolling plays until the end of the year. I probably won't. Or I will, but I'm taking a chunk off the table every play that we roll. So once Solana gets to 400 and we start rolling that play, a good chunk of it's going into my Lido staked Ether. I'm going to at least grab 2-3 Ether off of that. That play alone should yield me some Ether money, depending on what. I mean, honestly, it really depends on where Ether's at, because I might just pull it off into cash and wait for a pullback. But it depends on where we're at. Like if this, because the game is this. Bitcoin's going to do what Bitcoin does, which is great. That's the reason I'm constantly buying Bitcoin. I have 100% faith in Bitcoin. I know it's not going away, but that for me is hardcore. The way that I have my standard set up, that's replaced the 401k, the retirement money. That's getting 5 to 10% of all income that comes in, goes over there. And then after we clear the debt, because we're carrying a little bit of debt right now, after we clear the debt up, it goes to 10 to 20% based on where the income's coming from. But like, that's retirement, constantly getting stocked away, every paycheck, every dividend check, every DeFi cash out a little bit gets sent into a wrapped Bitcoin position, which is why it's up here. And we kind of put that away and we get it ready to go into Bitcoin at the end of this. When we consolidate everything down, we'll convert those wrapped Bitcoin positions into regular Bitcoin, throw it on cold storage, and keep it pushing. But everything else, like as these start popping off, like Solana, I'm pretty sure is going to do extremely well. Injective Protocol, pretty sure it's going to do extremely well. All of my altcoins I've consolidated down into. Thorwallet DEX will not be going away because it's got utility for the wallet that I use. Because I use the Thorwallet, I get lower fees. So we'll also be accumulating a bit more of that. But like the Thorwallet DEX that I accumulate, I won't be consolidating out of that. I mean, if it really pops off, like part of the reason I'm going to continue to accumulate Thorwallet DEX is because as that token continues to ratchet up and continues to, if it pops off the way that I'd like to see it pop off, because I was looking at some pricing, actually because Delta Investment Tracker app, for some odd reason, this is off a decimal point. So instead of it being 2 cents, it was at 23 cents. And I was like, yo, at 23 cents, that's a grip of money for what I'm currently sitting on. And I was like, I might have to consolidate out of that I might have to take a chunk of change off the table in that case. So what that means is I need to buy some more at these current levels, so that I have something to take off the table without losing the incentive that they've got me into this token for. But yeah, so moving on, let's get over to the topic. I've chatted your guys' ears off quite a while now. And this is going to be another screen to talk about. So what are we talking about? We're going to talk about why... Oh, geez. We're going to talk about why now is the best time to buy Bitcoin. And I've got two indicators for you. There's 2 points at which you can buy Bitcoin with absolute confidence. Absolute confidence. And know that you're getting a deal. Like a lot of people try to time the market. I do not try to time the market. I tell everybody, I'm like dollar cost average. But there are certain times, and I tell everybody this too, when the market's down, I buy more. When it comes to Bitcoin though, since I'm constantly buying anyway, buy more for me is I try to buy when I know it's on sale. So they go, oh, Reckless Raid and Arrow, how do you know when it's on sale? I'm going to tell you exactly how. I'm going to spill some of the insider beans that some of us who have been in the market for a decade or longer, that have been here for a long time, will tell you. And honestly, I've been requested to pull up charts. Shout out to the homie Razik. This is the only charting that I do. Like, I am not a big chart person because with Bitcoin, I don't trade it. I do not trade it. I look at Bitcoin the same way that I look at my house. I don't sell parts of my house to go buy coffee. I don't sell parts of my house because I am a homeowner. I don't sell my house to go get a car, to go do any, because then you don't have a place to live. The reason I don't sell Bitcoin is because it's always going up in value, which makes anything that I would have bought, with the exception, because we do have a Bitcoin savings that we're doing for home improvements on my property. Got a couple of honeydew projects, and I try to get at least one done every year. And this year, it's going to be an expensive one. I already know it's going to be expensive. Every time I look at it, I just see dollar signs, and I don't like it. But I need to get further into the bull run because I want to juice this bull run for all it's worth, because it's expanding my money supply and buying power. Now, that account, specifically the Bitcoin account, which is another reason that I tell people getting into altcoins is very difficult, because my portfolio of what I've saved up for my home repairs is that portfolio is not down 15%. As a matter of fact, that portfolio specifically is up 51%. Now, for those of you who need some numbers to ascribe to that, because this one I can show you guys. I'll show you guys. I got the numbers up on this one. We'll bring this back real quick. So this portfolio, we're up 51% just buying Bitcoin. And I can show you, and this isn't one of those, oh, you put a whole bunch of money in there at once. Like, nope. When this portfolio started, look at that, $32. Start off with $32 there. That's the first buy back in August when I started doing this. Right? Back into August. And we've been letting it sit because we hit our metric on this. But I've only got 2 buys that are out of the money right now. I got one that's down $3.58, which was the last set of buys that we did, April and June. Last set of buys. But as you can see, some of these are bigger than others, but we started doing this off $32. Now, the thing that I want you guys to note as we're looking at this, that $32 buy added $41 on itself. That buy did. $21 buy added $26.36 on itself. These little buys actually are up over 100%. And that's the reason I tell people the dollar cost average, because this shows you what it looks like. This is realistic. I'm the only person in these YouTube streets that y'all see out here that does not make over 6 figures. Worked his way into an ownership position in his business. This is boots on the ground. Like, this is actual effort. Documented receipts. But you can see these older buys, and this is the reason I tell people dollar cost average. Oh, well, I don't have money like that. Like, this is a $32, $21, $20. It's just extra money. And it's gone up over 100%. So this 32 turned into 73. This 21 turned into 47. This 20 turned into 44. 158 plus 187. $30 plus $35. I mean, this is the way that Bitcoin works, and this is the part that people don't understand. Because people will hit me up, and they're like, hey, Bitcoin is down today. We bounced off 70. It's down. It's down. It's down for who? Like, if you're buying consistently. Because look at when I was buying. 26,000, 25,000, 26,000, 27,000, 26,000, 33,000. The only buys that are even up here, 62, 65. 2 of the buys. And that was after, because this money's growing as I'm putting into the pool. So we had a 10K pool. I got the other $4,000 sitting over in my income portfolio. I got to pay myself back for that. But outside of that, all these purchases under 50,000. That's the reason I'm like, if it bounces off 55, it goes down to 50. Like, you hit 50. I'm like, yeah, my portfolio, I'm still up. Like, and this is just the stuff from current. The Bitcoin that I've already acquired, I got for well under 20. And this is the reason I tell people, again, this is back to the point I was trying to make. I'd just be going off topic here. But this is the reason I tell people to be leery in the altcoin market. And the reason being is Bitcoin is up this much. Now, during this time that I was buying all these Bitcoin buys, I was also buying altcoins. And you know what happened? My altcoin portfolio is wrecked. Most people who are actually tracking their results, your altcoin portfolio, until we hit that peak blow off top bull run, is not outperforming Bitcoin at all. period. An Ethereum portfolio, if you were just buying Ethereum because Bitcoin's too expensive, would also be performing pretty freaking well right now of just that. It's the crazy stuff. It's everything below Ethereum that you're going to run into problems with. And that's the reason I tell people, I'm like, when I look at my altcoin portfolios, that doesn't mean that I don't utilize them, but they are a tool. And in most cases, they're a distraction. That's the casino taking their money back. And I'm not going to say that I'm a Bitcoin maximalist, but numbers don't lie. I'm a math maximalist. Nothing's outperformed Bitcoin. The closest thing to getting to Bitcoin is Ethereum, and Ethereum has had some windows where it's flipped Bitcoin in performance, but not in rank. Ethereum's another solid one for me. I don't even consider Ethereum an altcoin anymore. But my altcoins are not performing as well as Bitcoin. Solana's been holding strong, but I don't believe in the chain. And I tell people that all the time. And it's my largest altcoin holding for my active portfolio. I don't believe in the chain. Like, they keep having to reset it. I don't mind having money over there because they just reset the servers and then it comes back up, but it's not centralized. It doesn't have the staying power that Bitcoin and Ethereum have right now, and it hasn't done anything to prove to me otherwise. There's some great hype. It's got a decent DeFi ecosystem in it, and this is somebody who's active in these markets active in DeFi for 7 years. My first 3, when I was getting my feet under me, I was just learning how to use stuff, but I've been in these DeFi streets for 7 years. Solid and counting. It's got a good DeFi ecosystem. Unfortunately, that's not the primary use of the chain. People aren't over there for the DeFi. They're over there for the meme coins, and I'm not a meme coin person. I don't believe in those either. So I'm looking long term. I'm looking at building a foundation. I'm looking at being able to retire early. I'm looking at actually being able to get out of having to go to work and get dirty and get sawdust in my eyes and all that kind of stuff. I'm looking at being able to manage my own schedule. So as far as the long term, like this is the reason I tell people the dollar. It's not cute until it's cute, and I'll tell you that, because when you put $32 in there, you're like, what's that going to do? Well, that was August. This was September. I mean, we can look at where were we at the start of the year? Where are we at? December. We got the January. Our January buy is still up a good grip. But like, this is why you dollar cost average. I was like, yo, I got to put some money in house savings. Boom. Like, this is when I started, $32. That's the reason I go, I don't care about buying small amounts of Bitcoin. Like, when I started off in this space, I was investing with change. So I'm not proud. And I mean, I'm being dead honest. Like, I was just putting whatever I could into a Coinbase account at that point in time. And it was whatever was left on my check, and my finances were jacked up, and there just really wasn't much there. So I was like, well, whatever, we'll get what we can. I'm out here building mining rigs because you could build mining rigs in your house doing that. But let me go ahead and smash out this topic real quick so I can get you guys up out of here. So this is the reason I buy Bitcoin with confidence. Like, these are times, like, I'll tell you, this is the only time that I look at these charts. There's 2 indicators that Reckless Rated Arrow looks at for when I'm going to buy Bitcoin. Period. One is if the market is visibly... Well, actually, there's 3. And I'm going to give you the dumb one first. One is if the market's visibly red. If it's payday and the market's visibly red, there's a good chance old Reckless Rated Arrow's just going to buy some extra. Because the price is pulled back. Now, what if the price goes lower? I don't care. Because outside of the house savings Bitcoin, and I'm getting ready to do the exact same thing with my car. I'm getting ready to start setting some money aside to buy a new car. A lot of the money that I'm putting aside for the cash down payment, we're going to do a short-term play on Bitcoin. Just pay that short-term capital gains tax. Because I'm probably going to be sitting up about 50%. That's still going to give me about 20% of my money. I want to be accurate. Let's look it up. Short term Short-term capital gains tax 2024. Oh. Okay. Short-term capital gains tax is actually nothing, more or less. That's freaking cool. I didn't realize it was that. Okay, so it's 10%. So I'm gonna be in the 11,000 to 47,100 bin. And it's gonna be 12%. That's dope. I didn't realize the capital gains were that low if you were just pulling out small amounts of money. Whoa. Okay. So we're Gucci. Yeah, that's actually way better than what I thought it was going to be, because I was thinking it was going to be 35%, because everybody just says the capital gains tax is 35%. Yeah, that's those. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to do a video on future financial strategies about what short-term capital gains tax actually are, because like everybody tells you it's just 35%. It's 12%. It could be anywhere from 10 to 37%, depending on how much money you made. And they only tell you one number. It's 35%. And actually it goes up. Like if you getting it, it's 37%. Which honestly, if you're making 100, 200, 300, 50x, 37% really ain't that much money. If you made 50,000% on your investment. Jiminy Christmas. Wow. Okay. So bet. Okay. So I learned something today. But that's my first indicator, because most of my Bitcoin that I purchase isn't short term. It's 4 years or longer. I do 4-year windows. More or less, because I go bull run to bull run. So the stuff that I buy during the bear market, I'm not touching that for 3 years anyway. So it's just going away, and I buy as much as possible because I'm going to get a deal. So red is whenever it's red. If it's a red day, I'm buying. Buy a little bit extra. Good chance of it. The other two indicators are actually more important. So the first one we're looking at, and I got the trading view chart pulled up. It's a great chart. It lets you know. And the reason I'm clicked over here on all time, by the way, reason I keep saying, and a reason I'm right about it, Bitcoin being the best performing asset ever, is it's up since its inception 552,510 or 552,510,000%. 552,000%. That's insane. That's insane. Makes me wish I would have got in sooner. Like I always say, I never have bought enough Bitcoin. Every time I look back, anytime window, I look back 4 years ago, didn't buy enough Bitcoin. Look back previous 4 years, didn't buy enough Bitcoin. This year, I might have say, hey, I did the best I could, but it would have been more Bitcoin had I started buying earlier. Like it just is what it is. So the first metric that I look at is the previous peak of the previous bull run. So the last bull run started in 2020. Again, we're on a 4-year cycle. 2020 started 2020. This is, let's see here. January. Okay, so we'll go January. Close of January. It opened at $9,339 with a high that day of $10,501. Closed at $8,528. We opened this year. Hold on, let's go. January 24th. Opened at $42,548. With a high peaked out at $64,000. Had a low of $41,859 and closed at $61,161. That's in 4 years, people. We went from $9,000 To what? Hold up. Get up in here. To $42,548. That's the reason I save on long timelines, people. That's why. But what I look at for this one is the peak of the last bull run. That's the first indicator that you might be getting a deal. So we look at the peak blow off top was around. Where are you at? They're not. Oh, yeah. So blow off top last bull run was in 2021. So that's how this works. You have the halving about a year later. So 2025 is when you're going to find out how well you picked, just so you guys know. That's the way this cycle's always gone. You can see it repeating itself. Did it again, 2016, same deal. Bull run stretched a little bit from 2016 to 2012. 2012 was the first one. Not the first one. That was the second one, but it's the first one that you can see the blip. Because 2008 was the first. 2012 was the first one that we can see on this chart. So if we go over here, you see 2012 was open to $6, closed at, oh, Jesus, Lord. And then hit $1,000. Could you imagine getting in at 2012? $3 from 2011, 2012 coming in $6, and then it goes to $1,000 in 2013, and then you get to do it again in 2016. Where are they at in 2016? $368. 2017, where they peak at? 2017 was when we peaked at right at about $20,000. You start at 300 and go to 20,000. Talk about a life-changing experience. You get a hold of a few of those with the way that we're buying now. If I was buying as voracious, because see, this is when I started. I started in 2013. No. Yeah. That was when we built the mining rig. So like right about the 2014 into 2016 bull run was my first official bull run. So I started after the 2014, after the crash in 2014. So it's 2013 that we were getting started with the mining rigs. That whole year I didn't do anything with it. Didn't pay any attention. Then 2014 happened. That was a down market. Didn't pay any attention that year. 2015. So I built a mining rig through a bull run that I didn't even know existed because I knew nothing about anything but the computer part of it. 2016 was when I tried to figure out how to get my coins out of Coinbase, and I couldn't. And then I found out I had money in there, and I didn't know how much. So then we went through the 2018. We went through this bull run. It took me a year to get a hold of those tokens, and I was dealing with some other stuff that wasn't Bitcoin because I was an idiot. And 2016 happened. Thought I came out of this okay, but you know, it happens. It happens. So, anyways, let me get back to the topic. I'm sorry, we're going down nostalgia road. I start tailing off and start telling war stories and having 100-yard stare, thinking about the money that I didn't make that I could have. So the peak of the last bull run is the first number that I look for when I'm searching, when I want to verify with myself that I'm getting a great deal. The peak of the last bull run was 67,000. That's the peak of the last bull run. So anything below 67,000, I know I'm getting a good deal. Like I know I am. So the prices that we're sitting at right now, when we look at CoinGecko, check your favorite place, Delta Investment Tracker app. You can also check Bitcoin's price there. They always have it on the front page. We're sitting at now 60,000. Oh, but that's up for right now. But yeah, but it's lower than the 67,000 that was the previous peak. This is a buy range. It's a no-brainer buy range. Because the way these Bitcoin cycles go is the current bull cycle that you're in is going to eclipse the last bull cycle. That's going to become the new bottom. So I'm buying below the new bottom price. That's my logic on that. And it has served for every bull run that I've been in, all three of them. It's repeated. I've seen this cycle repeat 3 times now. Going on 3. That's the first indicator. That's an easy one. Now, if you're in a halving cycle, now this is specific to if you're in a halving cycle. So if I'm in a halving cycle, what's the other indicator that Reckless Rate and Arrow uses? That is the price, the peak off of the halving of the current cycle. Peak off of the halving of the current cycle is $73,794. That's where we spiked up. Now, we hit this peak early, but it's still the peak at halving. How high did we hit at halving? So we've already created a new high post-halving. So that's the halving peak. That's 73,000. Now, if it's below 73,000, that is also still a good deal. Now, that's higher than the last peak, but it's still a buy range for this cycle because we haven't even started yet. That was an early blip on the Richter scale. So I'm looking at, okay, so anything below 73,000, solid buy. Obviously, the closer you get to 73, the less good it feels. But you take both of those markers together, you take the 73 and then knowing that the previous high was 67, and you have an opportunity to buy below both, done deal. That's the reason I have no problem with buying right now. Like, I smile every buy right now, regardless of what the price is, because we're not above 67 and we're not above 73. Now, once we get back above 70, obviously the Bitcoin standard is going to be the Bitcoin standard, but it just won't feel as good because, like, we're going to be buying into an up market. But still, up until when the bull run starts bull running again, like once we start hitting these metrics where we're hitting these numbers every day, there's no reason for me, in my logic, for the way that I'm looking at the space, to taper myself off or even worry about what the price is. Like, I don't care. I really don't. Like, it's under both of my metrics. And then if I buy on a day and it's payday and it's red also, like, I'm like, this is give them a little bit of extra money. Throw an extra $5 on there. Throw an extra 20 on there. Throw an extra something on there. Now, I do have a current focus of getting my income portfolio rolled out, but that also is going to be utilized heavily to buy Bitcoin. So still, like, even me throwing extra money into that portfolio, which isn't going directly into Bitcoin, a lot of those assets in that portfolio are Bitcoin-related assets because of the narrative. And I'm like, hey, like, we're riding these through the bull run. But they generate income, and a chunk of that income goes into Bitcoin. Like clockwork every month. When that dividend check comes in, part of that gets cut into Bitcoin. So I don't have any qualms, and I will say this in closing. Now is the best time to buy Bitcoin. Like, this buy range is so heavy. Like, the people that are trading it, like, I've started doing a little bit of leverage trading for fun because it's gambling. And I'm an indefinite longer. Like, I have a whole system. I am working the channel because, well, that I'll throw this in as a bonus. So what's Reckless Rate and Arrow doing with his leverage trading? So I'm doing between 5 and 10x. And every time we drop below 60, I'm putting it along. It's a 2-tiered process, though. It's below 60. And so, like, generally below 60, around 57, I start looking to put in my long. And if I have 57, 55, I'm definitely putting in longs. And then if it drops down to 50, I'm putting in a 10x long. Like, that's where I'm going with things. And then as we get back up into the 60s, we're riding those up and we're putting stop losses in on them, and we just edge that stop loss up as it goes up. And then if it dumps back down, we're catching our profits on the way down. And then as it dips below into my target range, we're rinsing and repeating. And I'm only making $200 plays with 5 to 10x leverage. And then I'm keeping a couple of $100 on the side, so that way if it drops. Now on the flip side, I am playing it both ways, but this is the way that we're playing it both ways. So like as we run up and we start hitting those metrics where I'm guaranteed in profit, I'm throwing in little $50 shorts back down to 50, like 59. And then if it doesn't catch, I don't care. But like if it goes back down and I'm forced to take profit, then I'm going to hit profit again on the other side of it. On that little $50 bet with 10x leverage on it. Because I'll get liquidated on $50. Like it doesn't really matter. It's just something a little bit of gamification. And then after we bust back up and like we're doing 60s to 70s, because I feel like that's going to be the next window if we have volatility. But if it's like the other bull runs, this game is only works for so long, because then eventually you're going to be indefinitely just kicking up your target price on the long until it just catches you while you're in bed or some shit. Because when it starts running, it starts taking leaps and bounds, and then you just got to start doing some lob shots. But it's something nice to generate a little bit extra income on the side, give me something to actually look at the markets. But I don't even chart with that. I'm doing ranges, because on the downside of this, even if I get washed on the way down and it dips, like I know it's going back up, so I'm just going to keep putting in longs, and eventually when the market reverses, it's going to reverse hard. And I'm targeting low 60s to 65 basically right now is where I'm looking at, until we get back up to 65. And then 65, I'll probably be putting in some longs for 70, because I think once we start touching and getting around and feeling 65, 70 is just going to happen. Like next thing you know, we're going to be sitting around 70. I'm going to be putting in longs to 80. Like I'm just going to ride this thing all the way up, because I do think that we have a legitimate chance. I do still believe, even though Wall Street Trapper want to be on my neck right now about it, I do still believe that he is wrong, that we are not hitting 6 figures this year. I think we're hitting 6 figures this year. I think my projection for where we peak out is low. He's thinking we peak at 100K. I'm thinking we're going to be in the 250, 300 range, and I'm on the low side. That's my conservative estimate. But look, we hit 250. That's going to be a move that's going to definitely positively affect my net worth. I will be over my my target for this year, which was $250,000 net worth. We're in the ballpark, but at that point we're well past that. Like if we hit 250 in Bitcoin with the rest of my assets, the way that I have my stuff set up, we'll have doubled that goal. Like we'll be at probably about $500,000 net worth. Now, obviously, it's a window of time. We're going to have to go through the bear market again, so then it'll be down low. But that means that next bull run, we should be $1 million, which was my ultimate goal. I wanted to, I do want my portfolio and to be in the job optional category before that without the Bitcoin. I want my investment portfolio, my traditional finance portfolio, to be kicking off that money. But we're gonna have to see what that is. I mean, it's definitely a game. I'm definitely playing it really hard. We are, I think, like 30% to goal, or 25%. I think we're about 25%. We're a quarter of the way to the goal. But obviously, when you're working on an income portfolio, it requires capital. So that means that you're having to do a lot of work to just get as much money in there as possible. So that way the the snowball effect can do what it do. And we took out debt to get it started, so we got to service that and pay it back. But no, it's a good journey. So we're gonna dump it off there. It's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero. Definitely hit that like. If you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe. Tap in with the content. Definitely touch base with me down in the comments and let me know, do you understand and believe that right now is the best time to buy Bitcoin? If not, please elaborate. Let me know why. I love to have these conversations. Also, feel free to share this with your friends. We're not trying to get rich over here by ourselves in the wolf pack. Till next week, people, it's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero. Peace.
Money moves, gotta hustle, gotta grind. In this game, no room for the blind. Crypto's the wave, the key to the grind. Transfer that wealth, it's time to climb. Blockchain buzzing, time to make a move. Invest in the future, can't afford to lose. Learn the game, gotta play it right. On the right side, we take it flight. Punch the clock, working hard day and night. Gotta stay focused, keep that mind tight. Crypto, wealth transfer, we want it all. Rise to the top, never hit a wall. Oh,